What's going on, guys? It's your boy Frankie. On today's video I'm going to be changing the oil on the Harley Davidson Street 500, and it's the same, pretty much the same procedure as Street 750 as well. All you need is a few simple tools and you can save yourself a lot of money doing this yourself rather than taking it to a dealership. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Now I'm going to show you everything you're going to need to go ahead and get started. So all you're going to need for this is you're going to want some gloves so that your hands don't get all dirty, you know, latex rubber gloves or whatever. And we look down here, 13mm socket wrench for your drain plug, Allen key to remove the front radiator. You're going to need a funnel to put your oil back in, rubber O-ring for the drain plug. They suggest to replace this every time you change the oil, which I'm going to go ahead and do. Oil filter, and for the oil I'm going to use this stuff right here is Lucas 20W50 synthetic motorcycle oil. It takes about 3.5 quarts. And also, of course, you're gonna need a oil drain pan and then some rags, because this could be you know, pretty dirty mess. So since my bike's been sitting and the gears are sitting, obviously if it's cold, what you're going to want to do is you know, make sure you've got oil in there first. Start up the engine, go ahead and let it run for like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes so that the oil warms up and everything, and then go ahead and shut it off and then let it sit for a couple of minutes. The reason why you're going to do this is because with the oil being warm, it's going to help it drain a lot easier and faster and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So starting off here in the front radiator, these are the two Allen bolts we're going to be removing. We're going to go ahead and start off with the left one, and then just go ahead and go on the right. These really weren't on too hard, so they'll come off pretty easy. And there we go. Now we got that removed. At this point, if your radiator cover is dirty at all, go ahead and clean it out. Get all, any kind of debris or anything that's on there. Now's the perfect time to do it. And now with our radiator cover removed, we're going to go ahead and we'll be able to access our oil filter, which is right down here. Now underneath the bike, we're going to have two bolts. This is one of them, and this is the other bolt right here. This is close to the kickstand. So this is your oil drain plug right there. That's the one that we're going to be removing, not the other one. Now we're going to grab our socket wrench. I'm going to loosen it up just a little bit so that I can remove it fully by hand. Now we got our drain pan underneath. I'm going to go ahead and remove it, and just be prepared for all kinds of oil to gush out. There it is. I would give this at least a good, probably like 15 to 20 minutes to let it fully drain. Once it started to slow down, you know, just kind of level the bike and put it back down on the kickstand to let it all out. This is the drain bolt. It's got the old O-ring on there. This is the new O-ring. I think this was about $7 on eBay. You can pause the video here if you want, so if you can grab that part number over there, and then we're going to go ahead and remove the old O-ring and go ahead and place the new one on there. Some people keep using the old one. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that. It might still work, but I'm going to go ahead and just follow the instructions that Harley Davidson recommends. And once you've got the new O-ring on there, we're going to go ahead and screw that back on. Also keep in mind, you don't want to over tighten this. I'm going to screw it on my hand and then go ahead and grab my socket wrench and give it a little, you know, tighten it up a little. I would follow the recommended torque specs that are in the instruction booklet for this part. Now to remove the oil filter, you can try using it removing by hand, but it's most likely not going to come out. So I've got a oil filter removal tool right here. I got this for like a few bucks at Walmart. It's like it grips it like a claw like that, so when you turn it, it squeezes tighter. So we're going to go ahead and loosen that up. And then once that's loosened, we can go ahead and continue removing it by hand. Just make sure you move your drain pan over right on, right underneath your oil filter, because you're gonna have some oil spill out over there, just like how you're seeing right here in the video. This can be a little messy, and there it goes. So I usually just let it all drain out, and then once it's most of it's gone, I put it back up and then put it in the old box. And then we're going to go ahead and clean up any leftover old oil or anything like that. Try to clean it up as good as we can. Now with the new oil filter, we're going to go ahead and put fresh oil over the gasket on the new oil filter. Just like that. I just rub my finger right under, right over it, and then yeah, I know this is going to be messy too, so you are going to be going through quite a bit of rags. I just get a new thing of rags every time because it is quite messy. We're going to go ahead and screw, once you get the fresh oil on there, go ahead and screw that back on. And also, this is very important, you do not want to use the oil filter removal tool to tighten the oil filter. You're just going to do that by hand, and as soon as you feel a little bit of resistance that it's on there a little tight, just go ahead and turn it like a quarter turn, and then you're good. You don't want to over tighten this because you're going to hate your life when you try to remove it for the next oil change. Okay, so now we got the oil filter on there. We're going to go ahead and place the radiator cover back on. I'm going to start off with putting the top on first, because it goes over like this little lip, and then the bottom we just want to make sure it's aligned with the holes. And then once we have that aligned, you go ahead and you're going to want to hold it in place and put your Allen screws back in, and then just do one at a time. Very easy process, unless your Allen bolts are stripped for any reason. That would really suck, but hopefully they shouldn't be. So now that we got all that done, we're going to go ahead and pour in our new oil. I'm going to go ahead and take this cap off here. Put my funnel in there. And there we go. Start pouring in. What I'm going to do is, since this is supposed to take 3.5 quarts, or more around 3.3, I'm going to fill it with 3 quarts for now. And I'll show you why in a minute. So we got 3 quarts in there. I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm doing right now is I'm getting on the bike and I'm going to make it level. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and check the oil level to see where it's at now with the dipstick. So I'm going to remove the dipstick, wipe it, and then I'm going to put it back in, screw it all the way in, and then take it out, and then go ahead and check the level from there. Because what's going to happen is it's the oil level will look full, but once you start it, it's going to go down a little more because all the oil works its way all around the engine and gets into the oil filter and everything. And just like you can see right here, see it looks like it's full right there. So now we're going to go ahead and start up the bike. Let it run for probably like just a few minutes. It doesn't have to be too long. So a few minutes would be fine. And while the bike is running, listen for any awkward sounds. You shouldn't hear anything like that. And I'm also going to double check for any oil leaks or anything. I'm going to check the oil drain plug for leaks. Everything looks good there. And then I'm also going to check the oil filter for leaks as well. Make sure we don't have any issues. All right, so now after the, see, we can tell here, see, that's where we want the oil level right there in the middle. So after running the engine, I am double checking the oil again, and as you can see, it went down to about halfway. Now that right there is pretty much where you want it. However, I am going to add just a tad bit more.
So as you guys can see on that last, after I let the bike sit for a little bit, after putting in the new oil and then checking the dipstick again, it was right around, it was about right in the half. I'm gonna probably add just a little bit more, just just a little bit, just to kind of get it towards the, like around 3/4 in there, like what I was telling you. And then that's pretty much it. And then take it off for a little test spin and see how it goes. And that is literally how easy it is. And this is like the cheapest, like, preventative maintenance you can do to any vehicle, given being a motorcycle or a car and everything. So and that's pretty much all there is to it. Cost me about, I want to say, with the oil and the filter, cost me around $65 to $70, which if you went to a dealership, they're probably going to charge you about $300 for the oil, parts, and all the labor and everything too. So hope this video helped you guys out. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and please hit subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.